Like really, it's just give it a chance.
Yeah.
Just come with an open mind and just listen. And it's not going to get worse because you came to a meeting. And it could get a whole hell of a lot better.
I heard it through the grapevine.
Welcome. It's the AA Grapevine half-hour variety hour featuring the collected voices of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm Sam, an alcoholic in Palm Springs, California.
And I am Olis, an alcoholic in beautiful Oakland, California.
Olis, howdy.
Hey, Sam, how are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I just got a comment. I think it's funny that Don scripts this out, but this time he bolded it and underlined it, and I am Olis. I love that.
That's because that is how I say it. He's very funny. As if I need a reminder.
Alice, listen to this from the Grapevine book, Sober and Out. It's May 1990, titled Quiet Guidance. One old timer explained it to me this way. Don't let your mind rattle on at meetings. Then all you'll hear from someone else is something that gets you thinking about what you have to say. Listen to everything the person talking has to say as if your life depended on it, because it might one day. Listen to everyone this way, especially the ones you want to ignore, this old timer said. God won't deprive you of the answer you need if you've come to an AA meeting needing an answer. He may, however, have your answer come out of the mouth of the person you least expect. God has a sense of humor. Man, have you experienced that?
I love that. What this makes me think about is the newcomer. Sometimes when you're in Alcoholics Anonymous for a while, don't have 2 years or 5 years, because then, of course, you know everything. And it's the new person who sometimes opens their mouth and says the most clear, profound thing.
Oh, yeah. There's another thing that showed up for me, and it was a men's meeting in Greensboro, North Carolina that I went to. There was a guy in there who he scared me. He was this motorcycle dude who he was kind of rough and tumble and tough, and he would drop the most perfect recovery gems.
Yeah.
He didn't wind up becoming my sponsor. I didn't go that far, but there was a moment of oh my God, is he going to be my next sponsor?
Yeah. We talk about practicing the principles in all of our affairs. And this is one of those examples that I have to learn how, right? It's a practice to set aside what I think and even how I feel in order to be available for my blessings, to be available for the gifts. And one of the things which I have found useful and I'm imperfect at is to really hone in when the person that annoys me speaks, to really pause the voice in my head, the conversation in my head, and really focus, because I can get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
I can find a gem in listening to somebody speak that I may not think has anything to give me. Yeah.
That's me judging people.
Yeah.
And the quality of their sobriety, how intelligent they are, whatever.
All of it. How many times they've relapsed, how well they all of it. The bumper sticker they might have on their car, all of it. And I heard somebody say that you can't have a resentment if you don't have a judgment. And our judgment can stand in the way because I'm busy thinking about what I think of you as opposed to what it is that you might have to offer me. I love this quote. Thank you, Sam.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Tell me, who's our guest today, Sam?
Alice, today's guest is Mike M. from Athens, Georgia. Have you heard about our Grapevine book, Forming True Partnerships?
As the chapter on Step 4 in the 12 Steps and 12 Tradition puts it, when we were drinking, many of us had a total inability to form true partnerships with another human being.
This collection of Grapevine stories shows the many ways members use the 12 steps, sponsorship, and the tools of the program to improve and repair their relationships.
It has colorful stories on families, friendship, marriage,
Divorce, dating, romance.
coworkers, sponsorship, and get this, pets.
Forming True Partnerships covers a wide range of experiences from sober alcoholics, all focused on how we form true partnerships with others. Get it now at aagrapevine.org.
Hey, my name is Mike M. I'm from Athens, Georgia. My home group is Third Tradition. We meet every Saturday at 2:30 for an open discussion meeting, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock for a literature meeting.
I love the name of your group.
Yes, Third Tradition. As far as I know, the first LGBTQ-friendly group in Athens. You don't have to be gay to be part of it. I actually identify with several of the list of people: crackpot, drug addict, queer.
Oh, yes. You know, there was a gay group that I went to in Greensboro that I loved, that part of their script said something to the effect of, we are a gay group, but first and foremost, we're a group of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes. Yeah.
And you are welcome here.
My friends have a group that they started a few years ago in New Orleans, right out of the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, right out of Bill's stories, called Gay Chatter.
Gay Chatter. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah. You don't have to be gay to be a part of the group. It is welcoming to everyone.
Fantastic.
And I love that you, Mike, that it is the Third Tradition, because the only requirement is that you have a desire to stop drinking.
And that used to be an honest desire. And then there was the realization of, wait a minute, when we come in here, are we really able to be honest?
And how would we know?
Yeah. Mike, what was going on when you came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous? Why did you come here?
So my life had turned into a country music song.
Whew.
I have a child. My partner at the time and I were co-parenting with a lesbian couple, and it turns out that co-parenting is harder than you might think. I was having some issues with some coworkers. My grandmother, who I was really close to, her health was failing. Issues within the relationship. I ended up turning to substances, including some dry goods, to deal with that. And while it can provide some temporary solace, it actually exacerbates the problem. It doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, the story that you're telling is the story that we've heard so many times, right? Like, I think it'll take the edge off. It'll make me feel a little bit better. It'll help me relax. It'll take me out of the stress.
And it does at first.
It's a temporary solution, man, that makes things worse.
What really got me into the rooms was this. I got home on a Friday afternoon. I decided I would just have a little something. That was about 7 o'clock at night. 6:45 the following morning, I was still going at it. And I decided I was going to have one more. And I knew that it was a bad idea. I knew I was about to go over the line, but I didn't really care what happened to me at that point.
That famous one more.
Yeah. And I woke up about 2:30 that afternoon, and paramedics were putting me on a stretcher. And I was very disoriented. I actually tried to tell them I was okay. And they were like, well, no, sir, you're not okay. And we need to take you on to the hospital. And that was April 11th, and it was kind of a blackberry winter kind of day. So it was pretty chilly outside. And when my head hit that outside air, that was really my pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. That was a moment where I knew I had really gotten to a place I never thought I would be.
Yeah.
And I'd had other pretty horrible things happen, but there were just too many witnesses this time for me to sweep it under my own rug.
Had you ever tried recovery prior to that?
No. Now, I thought recovery was for people who couldn't handle their alcohol and drugs.
The weaklings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be real. We don't care about people seeing us, drunk and crazy, but we don't want them to see us going into the rooms.
Yeah, rehab is for quitters.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You went to the hospital.
Yes, I went to the hospital, and and there was nothing between me and the world but a sheet.
Hmm.
And the friend who had come by and found me and one of my mentors from work were there in the room. And it's just the most humiliating experience
Mortified.
that I've ever had. And I called a friend that I knew was in recovery and told him what happened. He said, well, Mike, do you think you have a problem? And the amazing response was, I don't know. And I said, what do you think? And he said, I think you might have a problem. And this guy in particular, he's a wonderful guy. He's pretty opinionated, though. So for him to say, I think in front of anything, I've never heard him ever say that before or since. I don't think.
Because we don't diagnose other people.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, he said, I think you might. So why don't you come with me to a meeting tomorrow and just see what you think about it?
Did you go?
I definitely did, because the next morning, so my ex and another one of my coworkers had picked out rehab for me. And I had a full-on Amy Winehouse moment. I was just like, I really don't want to do that. No. I said, but I've been invited to a meeting this evening. And I said, if AA doesn't work, I swear to God, I'll go to rehab.
The part that's funny is we have to be threatened with rehab to go to a meeting. A meeting starts looking good because we're like, well, at least I could leave there in an hour.
That's right. That's exactly right. And honestly, I think it's one of the reasons why to this point, I haven't had to pick up another drink or drug since that day. I'm
so grateful
for that. So, so I went to a meeting on Sunday night at 8:00. They had a smokers candlelight meeting, which is, I don't smoke, but that's exactly what I needed. It was like a room full of gross couches and fold-up chairs.
Yep. Uncomfortable fold-up chairs.
And I didn't deserve any comfort, and I didn't want to be looked at. So it was kind of perfect. But they suspended the Big Book study because I was there. They made it a first step meeting, and that meant so much to me. And when I realized that we were powerless over alcohol, and our lives had become
unmanageable.
I was like, it's time for some new management, like really and truthfully. So, and then there was a guy there, but he looked me in the eye. He said, you look like you're in a lot of pain. He said, that's good news. Because if you can remember what you feel like today, you don't ever have to feel that way again.
Ooh, that's the message.
That is it. As an alcoholic, I needed to be driven to my knees to be willing to try to live somebody else's way, to try a different way of living.
Yeah. We call it sometimes GOD, the gift of desperation.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, after the meeting was over, somebody bought me a big book.
That's
and
right.
We went to IHOP and had a good time.
That's it.
And I got back to my ex's house and I was feeling so good. I started thinking those thoughts. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm overreacting to this whole thing. And I was backing the car up and I knocked the side view mirror off on a tree. Yes. I was like, okay, so I got the message.
Mike, did you wind up getting a sponsor?
I did. The guy that said, you look like you're in a lot of pain, he was really speaking from the heart. And part of what made him a perfect first sponsor for me is that he also had drugs in his story too. And I mean, alcohol is a drug. Let's get real.
Yeah.
I respect whatever house I'm in. So if I'm at a CMA meeting, I say AB. If I'm at an AA meeting, I say alcoholic.
Well, and just to call it out, I think the first mention of drugs in the book Alcoholics Anonymous is on page 7. I'm an alcoholic, and that's why I went to AA, was because alcohol is what drove me to my knees.
Yeah.
Well, and shortly thereafter, I went to an NA meeting, and I was more drawn to AA. There was a point where I used to play tennis, and the way to get better at tennis is play people that are better than you. And there's just a whole lot of long-term recovery in AA.
Yeah. CMA is Crystal Meth Anonymous. NA is Narcotics Anonymous. And AA, of course, is Alcoholics Anonymous.
And there are many other 12-step recovery programs. It's been a while since I've said this. My last drink was in 2003, but I reset my sobriety date in 2012 because I used poppers and diet pills in a way that's not sober for me. And I met members of CMA in 2012. And that's why I say that CMA saved what AA gave me. What one of those members said to me Go where you're fed. This is where I'm fed. Alcoholics Anonymous is where I belong. Mike, you worked the steps with this sponsor.
I did. You know, it's so funny you're talking about like being embarrassed about sitting at a meeting. I remember when we did step 3, he said, well, let's kneel down and pray. And it was like outside of a meeting. And I was like, kneel down and pray.
Excuse me, sir?
Are you clutching pearls there?
And I'd started working on my 4th step. I was sitting in this one bedroom, and the kitchen were the only 2 rooms that I had. And I'm drinking coffee, eating Pop-Tarts, and watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This episode, it had to do with forgiveness. And what I realized while I was watching that is I've never forgiven anybody for anything. Yeah. I just save it and bring it out when it can be of best service.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a tool. It was a weapon.
It was a collection of weapons. It was like the James Bond wall of weapons that opens up behind the bookcase. It's also a burden. It's a terrible burden. The hatred and anger I felt for those things, that's what was really killing me. It's not what was done to me, but it's how I was holding on to the anger and hatred that I felt for the people involved in those kind of things. And in particular, like not having the visitation that had been promised with our daughter. And all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, okay, if I'm dead, as far as I know, I won't get to see her again.
Mm-hmm. We can hear the message anywhere. We can hear the message on Buffy. Resentment is the number one offender. You know, in the book Alcoholics Anonymous, on page 66, it says, it's plain that a life which includes deep resentments leads only to futility and unhappiness. Right? I can only be miserable when I'm storing up my resentments to pull them out and beat you with them. I'm the prisoner.
Yes.
What happened when you realized that?
I've never felt closer to whatever you want to call it, the divine, you know, God, whatever it is. And I don't necessarily have a traditional orientation towards that whole thing, but I really felt like in that moment, like I was in the presence of something I'd never experienced before. And I could see all those resentments as like a tow sack filled with broken glass and concrete bricks. And it just was for me to put down. And it was an opportunity for me to put that down and not have to carry it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I called my ex who had left me because of my substance use, and I called that sponsor. Because it was, you know, I could really see like, and you know, the way it is with resentments, especially big resentments, it's not one and done. You know, like it's like, how do you eat an elephant? It's a bite at a time.
It's a bite at a time.
And I'll next thing, sometimes I look up and I pick that whole son of a bitch back up again, you know.
Yep.
But when I get the opportunity to let it.
It's an invitation to do more work.
That's right.
To be more free.
After that, like it really fueled the rest of my 4th step work. Not that long after that was when I did my 5th step.
Yeah. Mike, do you sponsor people?
I do. I mean, it's amazing because my resentments are completely reasonable.
Of course they are.
Mine too. They're burning my life to the ground, but they're reasonable.
Yeah, I deserve them. The other people are 100% wrong, but I can hear a sponsee talk about it, and it's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's me. I can see myself in that.
Dude, it is so much that thing of when the sponsee says it, I can see right through the bullshit.
Bleepity bleep.
Yes. the last time I did a 5th step with a sponsee, I hadn't done one in a minute. So I was like, let me just study up on this thing a little bit, you know. So I listened to Joe and Charlie tape. And one of the things that's really stuck with me from that is any resentment is a distraction from working on ourselves.
Absolutely. And the real work for me isn't going through the steps. The real work for me is taking people through the steps, because that's when I really meet the deeper part of myself.
Sponsorship is a game changer. It's a leveling up in recovery. Ashamedly, I forgot about it. You know, moving out here during COVID, I was disconnected significantly from the fellowship here. And then when I finally joined a home group, found the one that was it, I picked up 3 sponsees within 6 months and have worked the steps with all 3 of them.
Yeah.
It changes me to be a sponsor.
And you don't have to want to, because everybody that knows me knows that my favorite number of sponsees. Come on, Sam, what's my favorite number of sponsees?
Would that be 0?
0. Oh my God, I love 0 sponsees, right? But that doesn't help me grow. That doesn't bring me into the sunlight of the spirit. This is the work.
It's related to the gratitude that I feel for what I've received. Giving it away is the only way we really get to keep it.
At the top of our conversation, you said your home group is the third tradition, right? Is that a meeting that you've had any role in launching?
Yeah, I was one of the people that helped put it together, one of the charter members of that group. And part of the reason I wanted to do that is this: I grew up Southern Baptist and gay, which is a little bit like a 2-story outhouse. And being on, I know that if my first meeting was in a church, I might have had a hard time feeling comfortable there. There's some churches where not everybody feels welcome. And there are a lot of reasons that people don't feel welcome in church.
Religious beliefs, prior trauma in a church, there are lots of reasons.
Yeah,
that's right. So I wanted to make sure that that was just a barrier that was removed. That was my motivation for being involved in that.
How did y'all go about that?
There were enough of us that wanted to do it. We found a location, the Unitarian Universalist congregation. They have a very broad view of things, and we knew we would be welcome there. We started off as a meeting just to see if that was going to take off, if people would show up. And after we were in operation for a couple months, we decided to make it an official group.
And tell people the difference between a meeting and an official group.
So essentially, there's paperwork to fill out where you become part of that district. It includes electing service positions and sending a representative to the district meeting.
Becoming a group means that you're a part of the overall world structure of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a day, it was after we'd started that process, I was cleaning around the house and I moved this bank. And when I did, this stash that I had hidden away came tumbling out. And it was a day I could really taste it in my mouth. But I was like, you know what? I could do that. And if I did, I wouldn't get to be part of this group being started. And the group might not start. So I took it directly to the toilet. This meeting, I mean, it's my home group. I really love it. It's such a phenomenal group of people. We have such amazing discussions. One of the reasons I've got the recovery that I do is because of that group and the opportunity to get to be part of it.
And it sounds like that group saved your sobriety date.
It did. It really did.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for sitting down with us. It's been a real joy getting to know you more.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank y'all. Thanks for having me.
I'm an alcoholic and my name is Nevada. My sobriety date is February 28th, 2023. I'm super passionate about the Grapevine. Every conversation with somebody new that I'm speaking to for the first time, that's one of my opening lines. Do you have the Grapevine podcast app? I've helped people put it on their phone. I listen in my car. I have it playing sometimes in the background. My pivotal moment for the Grapevine was at 10 months sober. I needed to clean out my closet, and I didn't really know how I was going to get through that moment. So I put the Grapevine podcast app on. That's when I fell in love with the Grapevine podcast. So when I'm working with people and they're struggling with something, I suggest put the Grapevine podcast on. Let God talk to you in the background, because whether you're paying attention or not, your brain is hearing it. And I hear my higher power in every single episode. I tear up and I literally belt out. Thank you, God, so much. I love you guys.
Thanks to everyone who subscribes to the Grapevine magazine in print or in the AA Grapevine app. Your support makes this podcast possible.
$3 a month? Come on.
I'm at the very wit's end.
Bartender, one more, please.
Here you go. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Oh, you bet. I was the Christmas tree in the household.
The what?
The tree. I stood in a corner by myself and got lit up.
It's really not that funny. Thanks for joining us. The AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour is posted every Monday and is produced by AA Grapevine, Inc. We don't speak for AA as a whole. We share the experience, strength, and hope of members to help others recover from alcoholism. All things Grapevine are available at aagrapevine.org, including our app and how to get in touch with us. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to know more about AA, visit aa.org or search online for Alcoholics Anonymous and your city.